Welcome back, Paladins fans. My name is Pretty Hair. I will be your host for this next set. Of course, Kresnik is still going to be joining me here for our second one of the day. We just watched, if you're just now joining us, a long best-of-5 war between Stush Gaming. They were able to take that one out over the top of Aramana for the first time. It's their first win of this phase, so congratulations to the guys. But we're going to be moving on now to Bustdown versus Vyro. And Bustdown, Kresnik, have been a team that was, have been looking damn strong, and this is actually one of the most contested regions in the overall grand scheme of the PCL.
Yeah, what is it, like a 6-1, 5-2
yeah, something like
on the
that.
top two?
Yeah, it's very, very close.
I think the only team with other than NA Xbox, right, or NA PS4. It's like the closest between that. I'm excited to see how this goes. I want to see how strong they look.
And after even last matchup, right, that wasn't a matchup that we necessarily look at on paper and go into and be like, wow, this is definitely going to be a really close one. But let's hop into it, guys, and get this one underway. Take a look at some of these highlights leading into our matchup here between Bustdown and Onside. You can take a look and see what I'm seeing here. A little bit of this Moji played by Aryavan. This has been a pick that is not totally outlandish for console. It's not really seen much nowadays, but they were definitely the first guys to bring it in, even before PC. And with Mutu seeming to unironically pick this champion up, what are the merits, if any, that you see to something like Emoji?
She has a lot of sustain in her cards. One of the reasons why Pip is being so picked is because of Moxie. And she has that same card in Symbiotic, where she gets the 50% bonus healing. So with a strong healer, she could see some value on top of the lifesteal card, plus the invincibility when she goes into Magic Barrier. But the fact that her hitbox is about the size of a truck. One of the reasons why she has it. Yeah, very unfortunate. Even more unfortunate for console.
So do you consider this a pick that is tough to execute on, or because of all that extra healing, I would feel like it's a little bit easier to stay alive, but in terms of actually being effective and doing damage and getting kills, is that where she, kind of has that skill ceiling?
I mean, it's about the sustain. It's also about the map. Right,
True.
Like if you can play her, you can execute with her really well on those type maps like Bright Marsh, Jaguar. Yeah, you can even maybe get away with it on Keep, like where they were playing,
right?
Because she can play kind of inside in those tight corners.
Definitely.
But if you try to play her on like a Fish Market, a Warder's Gate, that's where it's gonna struggle.
Well, looking over at Vyro, they've got some guys like Tully that are going to be looking to contest, and also filling out in the flex roll spot. He's going to be maybe the guy, if they're going to get spicy today, that's the types of picks they're going to have to play. And given that this region is so close, Spice seems like, the variety of life here, right? Like, this is what they want to grab to try and get some of these wins. It could be a Sky. This is something, I think, man, this guy's played more than just about everybody in the league at this point. But small little nerf to Sky. Is that enough, do you think, to push her out of what that niche pick spot she was in before? I
mean, she's still going to be that percentage tank burn character, right? It's a little bit worse, but now I think people are maybe going to hold more on like the Decrepify card, where you get the ammo when they poison bolt, so they could focus more on the auto attack as opposed to just the poison bolt spam. Makes her a lot riskier, but I mean, she was always seeing play on console even when she wasn't.
And that's to me when I saw those loadout cards get work, because Decrepify used to be like her healing reduction card, I believe. And when I saw that combination, I'm like, this is just too good to be true. The biggest thing that was tough about Sky is getting that frag in one clip before you have to go through that really long reload. So with cards like that, I was surprised that we didn't kind of see her definitely more than we currently did on console. But we're going to go ahead and hop into this first draft here on Stone Keep between Bustdown and Vyro. Amani banned away almost immediately. She was grabbed in game one of our first set, but didn't see much light of day after that.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's really strong on this map. I mean, this is a map where on scrims, even Dredge was able to be played before. So her ability to zone with the splitting ice, the frost bomb, being able to read everybody, it's powerful on this map. And her vertical mobility, too.
And I like the ability for, and you can see, we just commented on that Sky. Tully loves to play this pick. It's going to get banned out here last by Vyro, but being able to just, for the purpose of zoning, like park the dragon in the keep, and anybody that wants to come out on the objective, you're covered on all 5 sides of the cube of 3D space, except for in front of you, and you can just shoot out. You almost look like you're guarding a little cave there. So there is potential for that dragon to be very useful, potentially on Stone Keep. What have your thoughts been on the dragon ultimate? Not many people have fought into it yet. It's been a lot of zoning. It doesn't look pretty, but do you still think the value's there?
I think the value's there for that sense. It's an ult where like you get the most value of it when you hide it. Like if you can put it, you put it around a corner or on top of the point on top of the keep and stone keep, on top of the point on Bright Marsh. When they can't shoot it for free and they're like, we have to get into that, we have to touch, we have to go there. We can't go through that dragon when we can't hit it easily from outside. That's when it gets the most out.
Well, Torvald, Barrick, Victor is going to be the first 3 here for Bustdown, and Torvald Victor on stone keep historically has been deadly. That's been something Flashpoints run a decent amount of when they've been allowed to get their hands on it. But on the side of Viral, there is a, it's damage amp, it's sustain. Vivian has her own shield. She doesn't need Torvald. So kind of the same elements going for Viral's draft at the moment.
Yeah, damage boost is always going to be good on console, especially. Yeah, that's a scary draft, right?
Yeah.
McCulloch, Vivian.
Sheesh.
And yeah, but the Vivian, she's actually pretty good against like high pressure dive. The shield, allowing her to mitigate some of that. Wrecker's really strong on her with her consistent damage. I can see why they picked that early.
I like this. The Bomb King is definitely one of my favorite Torvald pockets as well. And I think if Victor goes down, a good Torvald player is like, yes, you pocket one guy, but in my opinion, a really good Torvald player knows like he just doesn't need it right now. This could be better spent somewhere else.
Yeah, you can use it. The bubble's so multi-purpose. It's one of the reasons why Torv has been so strong, so dominant. Sustain, damage amp, speed boost to chase. It has all these different properties.
Throw it on a Barrick if you got to.
Why not? Imagine that. The double bowling ball, basically. Oh, my God. How do you go through that?
It's tough. That's tough for sure. But I got to say, Viral's draft is looking damn strong as well. I'm curious to see which one's going to be able to take game number 1. Let's get it down to the casters and get this set started.
Thank you, guys. Down here with Gore for set number 2. One side gets the Khan Makoa, 2 frequently banned frontliners.
Yes.
But the opposite side is Bustdown, and they have Torvald, they have Bomb King as well, and they have Victor. So it's a tough one to call.
Honestly, you might have been able to just stop at, but the other side is Bustdown.
I mean, they look good. They've been looking good. We talked Bustdown, Bust Radiant down. They're looking to bust Viral down here this week, and that'll give me a nice header there for Esports Weekly. So hopefully they can do it. Getting into Stone Keep, though.
It's going to be really interesting. I mean, one of the things that caught my ears, I guess, overall from what Kresnik said was imagining Yui, go get a dash bowling ball, then a Torvald bubble on top of it, and then like low time, like low reset, bar. Right? You're at 30%, and you're just like, man, I really need to stay alive, and it's dash bubble to make sure you stay alive. Most of the time, you're going to see it either on Victor or Bomb King.
Yeah.
But those moments, specifically for YD, I think are going to be the big ones to be able to kind of lean forward to and look forward to be able to showcase how good you are at Torvald.
The shields are going to pay off, I think, in dividends here as both teams are going toe-to-toe on the high ground to start off this fight, getting aggressive, and you see it there. Yui says, all right, I'll bowling ball my way in with the Torvald shield as well, and he's able to tank up. Nobody getting onto the point just as of yet, maybe waiting for the first blood. In this case, that goes over to Bustdown. Slaya gets stunned up here. But is there the follow-up damage? It's a good Poppy Bomb to get the Grok off of the high ground and out of their face. And finally, Bustdown, find some pressure, find some space, and find 30% on the point.
Oh, a nice hook. Finally, he's going to be able to get a little bit of pressure. But right now, it seems like Bustdown, well, they're controlling the objective, but the other half of the team is still playing Team Deathmatch. They are looking for kills. They are out for blood, and they have locked Viral down. Aggressive is their playstyle, and so far it's been working out. That shot not going to connect right there, but I mean, 90%, no one's looking like they're close enough to really contest just yet. Umeda going to be able to jump onto the point. Not making that big a difference right now.
He's going to drop almost immediately. The overtime meter begins here, and some kills still coming up for Bustdown in this case. Aryavan not missing any shots on this Victor, and they're just going to run down, straight down mid, straight down Main Street. And they're looking to get this one through. Let's take a quick look at the KDAs, the slash lines up to this point. That's pretty much exactly how I figured it was going to look. 2-0, 2-0, 3-0. Unkilling up to this point yet are Viral. Bustdown have not taken their foot off the gas pedal just yet, Gore.
I mean, this is not only Bustdown looking good, but when you look at it, like, they're 2 DPS players. Aryavan and Wildcard, out of the 2 of them, like, have almost always been able to impress in terms of their slash line. Like, even in like a matchup against Cyclone, those 2 can do so much work for this team.
Ooh.
Wildcard cutting it
like
incredibly close there.
He nearly fell. He had like 6 health.
Without that bubble, he's like a sneeze away. Like, just him sneezing would kill him. Like, it's not even anyone else.
That's enough internal damage that he drops off anyway. There's going to be the Tempest for Viral. Maybe finding a little bit of pressure back onto the opposite end. Unfortunately, he catches some wild card bombs straight to the dome. He's trading back with Whitey, but he gets the better end of that one. The King Bomb as well is going to stun a few up. The kills are coming up, Bustdown, and that payload, well, it's looking like it's going to go through here. Bustdown, 3 minutes in here. They're looking to find themselves a 2-0 lead, and they're going to do just that.
It's one of those things right there. Makoa, one of the things that makes him so strong, the reason he's such a high priority frontline is that hook displaces someone. You pull them out, and all of a sudden they're an easy target to kill off. But there's two things that go there. One, they need to be pulled maybe away from their team right there at the very end. You're kind of pulling them towards the payload. Can't make a difference. And the other is you need the follow-up, right?
Yep.
And that's the thing. Viral, we're so perpetually staggered that even if you are able to come out and find a really sick hook, you're the only one with follow-up damage.
Right.
And with the way the healing's coming down, with the way Dreams is playing this, she is not giving anyone the opportunity to drop below half unless you are wildcard and you eat a through time and space and still live to say another thing about it.
And speaking of the healer, I mean, look at 15,000 healing coming through there for the I mean, he's doing half of what the main healer is doing on the side of Bustdown, but they need that much just to hold on the little amount that they have up to this point. You take away 15,000 more healing on Viral, this could be even more lopsided. There's the barrage. That's a big group of targets they could find there. Umeta nearly finding the first kill of the game here for Viral, but instead Bustdown flip it right on around. And Viral are pushed off onto the back foot yet again. Some bouncing strikes coming out from Toily there. Tully, excuse me, nearly finding some kills. But finally, there it is. Ranked finds the first kill of the game here for Viral, but Bustdown. Oh, the rest of the members, they're streaked out, and they're on the point yet again.
You know, I'm going to say, I don't even think that should have been a death. I feel like that was just wild guard. Maybe getting aggressive, maybe there was a call, maybe he thought there was going to be a bubble or somebody else was pushing with him. Either way, that was the gimme, right? Everyone gets one. So Viral, you got your one. The question is whether or not you can find another. You have to be able to delay this point. It's already at 90%. They are the ones on the side of Viral that have the fast cap.
Well, the Ancient Rage is going to buy some time, buy a little bit of space, but unfortunately not buy any kills. Here's the King Bomb as well, straight out of the Poppy Bomb. That's going to be good for one. On to Slaya. Down he goes. There's the Tempest as well, trying to buy his team some space, and they're throwing everything at the wall, hoping that something sticks here. But up to this point, nothing has, except for the bombs on the face of the Grok. Tully back to base again. 3-0 here for Bustdown. They're going to push this one right down Main Street. Oh, as I say it, though, the Makoa gets back, but just a bit of a formality at this point. Slaya's going to be back. Aryavon's going to be the one to clean up the Makoa. Bustdown, well, they just look very clean right now, Gore.
I can't think of a more awkward scenario to be in than Vivian, and you're fighting a Victor, a grenade gets thrown at you, and then when you turn left, there's also a Bomb King tossing bombs at you. Like, you're in a blast zone, and there is no way to get out of there.
This is my life now.
And that has been the lockdown. I mean, Bustdown, again, the one death right now, I think, onto Wildcard. No big streak for the Torvald, but that's not where his needs to be. Actually, he did drop at some point. Whitey went down. Otherwise, he'd be on a 12 streak as of right now. It's those bubbles that are doing a lot. But Aryavan, 10-0-13. Wildcard still 9-1-12. Like, it's just so clean from Bustdown.
It is, and I think that's the only way to really look at it. They're just looking very clean right now. Tully answers back, though. Aryavan continues his tear on the Victor. 25 streak now for him. Bustdown looks poised to take this one 4-0. That's a hook that bounces one off the map there.
Torvald.
For Viral. Torvald, unfortunately, back to base. Ranked, though, finds his second kill of the game. And Viral, a little bit of space here. The defense holds firm, at least for the moment. It's still 3-0, though, and Bustdown have 1 minute and 15 seconds left to get back to the payload, maybe get this one shoved through. The Sentinels are out. And plugging away a little extra damage. Aryavon, though, can never count out this Victor. The 25 streak unfortunately comes to an end, but he'll look to get a few more under his belt to get this one pushed in.
You know, there's something really impressive about Vivian right now, and that's that both Sentinels are out and alive, and Sentinels is fully charged. You could lose your Sentinels right here, right now, and hit a reset button almost immediately.
Yep. There's
going to be a good kill on the wild card. You're getting incredibly low, and hey, there go both the Sentinels. And at this rate, you're going to have to pop them.
Yeah, I think you need to get them out. No reason not to if you know that you can charge them back up as you're fighting anyway. Through time and space is going to connect on to Aryavon. Viral finding a little bit of life here through some of that ultimate utility, utilizing them very, very well here. Bustdown back onto the back foot. 19 seconds left, so still plenty of time, plenty of space to potentially get back in, get a little toesy on that payload, and get it pushed forward. Viral, though, they look pretty firm here, but Wildcard finding one onto the Grok could open up this fight for them.
I mean, 3 seconds left. Overtime's going to be coming through. All they need is one big kill, and they get rid of ranked. And now it looks like Umeta's going to fall down, so that's going to open up the door. Viral, they've just left this open.
They looked a lot better on this defense, but unfortunately the 1-2 punch, make it 3 now with Torvald getting in on the action. Aryavan with 3 of the ones in this fight. 4-0 go Bustdown.
Saving the win
damn
rate.
good while doing it. What was that?
That's their entire goal, saving the win.
That's
Get
all you
that
need to do.
100% for Torvald
That's right.
and keep it 100%. I think we actually have it split by region, by console, so it's going to be specific
That's
there.
true.
But either way,
That's true.
it's still going to be a big win for
It is.
Grandpa himself.
Grandpa himself loses earlier in the day, finds himself a win here. Bustdown off to a strong start, 1-0 here on Stone Keep. Let's send it back to the desk.
Thank you, guys. Not a ton of notes from my end that time around. I do want to call back something, though, that I was talking about earlier when we were playing Jag and we saw that Torvald come through and it was paired with the Andro. The thing I didn't like was, like, there's the windows of opportunity where this Torvald has line of sight and this Andro has an ability to, like, go on someone and actually hit some good shots. There's so few and far between versus when I'm watching Whitey bubble Aryavan and bubble Wildcard and even Yui at some points. They're always involved in this fight. It's not hard for them to get value from this bubble, and that's a big part of it. It doesn't always have to be a flank that you're pocketing.
Yeah, double backline with Torv is fine. I mean, not that you would really consider Bomb King a backline, but the fact that he can constantly bubble people that are always in the fight really deny aggression. Yeah, you're not wrong. You can't tell him otherwise.
I love that character, man. I think he's gone through his ups and downs, certainly, but a dominant performance on Stone Keep. And the scary thing, Krez, is how terrifying that viral draft was.
Yeah.
Especially on console. They got their Genos, the Koa, the Vivian, like, and this Grok is such a nice little, like, just death ball cherry on top, just to fuel a nasty, aggressive composition. But my goodness, it hit a brick wall in Onslaught.
One thing that I don't know if a lot of people know is that, well, first, Team Viral, they have a composition that has good ults, right? Khan has Overpower,
Definitely.
Ancient Rage, Tempest, are all really, really solid ults. If you shoot a Torv bubble, you don't get ult charge.
Tough.
Because it's considered a shield, you don't get ult for shooting a shield. So just by having the Torv, you actually deny a lot of ult charge from the enemy team, and their mids, maybe when they're trying to defend, oh, do we spend an ult? It took us so long to charge it. Can we even? It has a lot of denial in that sense too.
And that's such a big decision to be made too, like, especially when you're getting around that 50-second, 1-minute mark, you're looking at popping an Overpower or something. That's an ultimate that, unless you're popping off on the rest of that defense, you might not get that charged up, and that's been such a big part of Khan's success, case in point, period. If he doesn't have that going into point fights, it's a different ballgame.
And after the nerf, it's a lot less safe too.
Yeah,
after that,
got to be able to, gotta hit it. You do thankfully get your 30% bad player refund if you miss it. So yeah, at least you have that going for you.
I've seen that too many times to not feel offended when you say the bad player refund.
Sadak, have anything to say about that?
I'll ask him later.
We'll take notes.
He's here, screaming in the studio. That's why we're gonna.
I gave him a hug.
Nip's
so you guys are gonna win.
Oh, Nip's here too.
Oh,
it negates. Studio benefit is just gone. That's why I don't know what's gonna happen today. None of these teams are screaming in the studio.
Studio buff. It's a big one. It's important and it lasts for a long, long time, guys. We're gonna head to Frog Isle. It's game number 2. Bustdown destroyed Stone Keep, and we'll see what the bands look like now. Viral getting rid of the Sky, but I think they've got bigger problems than her.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, I don't know exactly how they were going to pull out the Sky. Maybe although it was with the Torv, they could just ban the Torv.
Yeah.
I don't think it was going to see too much. Tyra banned first for Bustdown. Response Torvald. A lot of damage amps getting out of the way. I mean, it's strong even on PC. Like, damage amps are just really powerful.
Absolutely. And talk to me about this dynamic. The one sniper ban on Frog Isle. How do you play around Strix in the draft for the rest of this?
If they were to first pick Strix, you would probably take, like, a flanker and an Ashe, or like a Drogoz and an Ashe, so you have better control on your danger. Or you could just go in, completely counteract that with pressure, because Strix can't really get away from Ashe the way that Knesset can.
Thoughts on Atlas here on Frog Isle? Personally, I've liked him a lot, but I'm curious to hear what you think.
I think he's really strong with the big shield, actually. This is one of the maps where big shield sees a lot of
Big shield
value.
and exile, too, for me, because, like, it feels like so much of Frog point fights are decided by that danger fight, and if you're just like, nope, go on, little Bomb King, or whatever it is, or whatever my damage dealer is, it's like, it's just a free pass to the back line, it feels like. It's pretty committal, because they're not, those targets aren't dead, they're just exiled for a little while, but I feel like Atlas is going to bring a ton to this map in the future.
Yeah, I mean, also depending on your draft, you can execute the banished targets when they come out, right? If you are running that Bomb King, you can just exile their tank, 6 chain reaction stickies under his feet. There's nothing he can really do. Even one thing that some teams, I won't say, but the Genos Atlas combo is actually pretty cool.
Setting up like
if you have the good timing, on that, you can just guarantee
even off of like
kill.
a setback or something too, if you really kind of
if they have high resilience, they're going to basically stay in the same spot but be locked there. So you can time that too.
Gotcha. Is that how resilience interacts with that? You still go
I think
back?
You get sent back
just less time?
Less time and faster, if I remember
Fair enough.
because it's really fast when you have Result 3.
Well, resilience is something that is definitely need to be looked at when you're talking about Atlas. It helps with Con Ultimate too. You just get thrown a little bit less far. Barrick will be the chosen point frontliner for Bustdown, and the aggro tank will be Ash. I very seldom want to bet against Victor Viv on console.
And Ash into the Strix. I mean, she's going to have some trouble ulting into the Atlas setback, but like Barrick Genos, incredible point tank combo. Ash, absurd into Strix. 2 incredible DPSs. Like, that's the ideal draft, I would say.
We saw a decent amount of setbacks on those assert dominances, but I think if Ash players just make a small adjustment and try and get to their spot and just sit there for like a second or two so that they don't get set back too far away. Like when you go for that shoulder bash into the ult, that's when you're really vulnerable to just getting destroyed by setback. There are definitely ways to play around it and survive, guys. That does it for the draft. Frog Isle is up next. Bustdown still looking good. Viral will have something to say, though. Let's get it down to the casters and get it going.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Kresnik. And thank you, Frog Isle. The Barfing Frogs.
For just being there.
For just being you. We're headed into game number 2 here. I mean, one side has the clear range advantage just through the Strix. The other side, though, well, they have Victor Vivian. And they have the Genos as well, Gore. What do you think of both of these lineups?
I think the most accurate titles right now are on the side of Bustdown. Yui's going to be busy on the point. You have 2 hard carries that come through. Can't be stopped, which makes sense. And then Dreams is so high right now. The healing numbers have been ridiculous. Last week it was Bustdown was the one that were playing like the Binary Star Genos and the Ferocity Grover, right? Like they were the ones that are pulling out the bizarre support strategies, and I'm all for it.
And we've seen kind of a variety of Atlas talents. Most notably on Frog Isle has kind of been that XL wall, and we see it here again from Umeta. Covers up, well, the entire map when you throw it out here. Hard to see through it. Basically splits the team fight now in 2, but getting just, oh, that's so obnoxious. I'm sure if you're on the receiving end of that, they're able just to hold down the right trigger. Unable to find any kills here. Bustdown go down early in the point fight, or point percentage, I should say. But fight back in a big way, find themselves up 57% now. And this is about as full court of a full court press as you can put on another team.
There's that wall. I was about to break something down, but then the wall comes up. And it starts to, I mean, that makes it a lot easier as a defending team, I guess, in this case for Viral, to just make sure that, you know, your full court press isn't as strong as it could be. You can't all shoot me from way over there. You have to at least come to this side of the wall to be able to deal with us.
Ooh,
unfortunately, they don't care about that on the side of Bustdown. They will not only go past the wall, they will push even further. And now for a push, this is a great way to go as Victor plays with his little army figures there.
All the emotes. So much BM in one place.
And
just
honestly,
kidding, I love
it's
it, though.
even better because
I love it.
That's not even meant to be the BM there. That's just I'm looking at you in third person so I can hide behind this rock.
It is.
Like, just
I
keep
like to
me
call
safe.
it BM. Just drum up some drama.
The sprays, though.
The sprays, though. There
that
you
is
go.
BM.
Aryavan continuing his tear. He can't be stopped right now, as his title states. Payload just inching ever closer. I haven't seen it. Who's on payload? Who got unfortunately stuck just riding on the payload? I guess it was Whitey on the Ash.
It looks like Dreams was back there the entire time.
The rest of the 4 were up front finding kills and damage. And poor Dream, she had to sit on the payload and just ride it all the way through. Top 4 damage in this game. Save the Genos.
James, what are you doing? I mean, I know you're sitting on the payload, but come on.
2,300 damage is what she's doing. Tully with the lone kill here.
That
5 streaks, top to bottom here. Arya Von, the lone death now on the side of Bustdown.
But still a 9 streak. That was first blood. It happened like at
That's
the
true.
very
You're
beginning.
Right. You're right.
And then since then, Arya Van has not died. And so it's very big for Viral. And I actually wanted to point out that I'm really happy to see them playing Cassie, which is someone who doesn't usually come through on console. And in my mind, it's not necessarily that she's bad as much as, or like seen as bad on console as much as it is that Victor, Vivian, Leon,
other
all
champions
are
take
going
that
to take
priority.
that precedent
Right.
way over her, that priority over her. And so being able to bring her into this, I think, could be very big. And that wall just changes so much of the fight. But then you get this, hey, I'm going to pop a dome shield, and we're just going to fight. We're just going to look at each other until someone makes the first move.
That's a really good knockback there from Whitey as well. There were 3 members of Viral standing there ready to contend, but knocking them all back. Ranked finds a kill in this fight. The Strix able to pick off a couple from long range, but Whitey's going to continue, and he's not going to miss any in this one. Bustdown are going to get right back onto the point. Only 1 member losing their streak in this case. Bustdown definitely a team, and they show it here today, that's trending up. I mean, they're in a region that's going to be tough to take first. But they're a team, I think, that have shown a lot of improvement, a lot of growth over the last few weeks. And I think this is this sort of performance at the end of the day is sort of the culmination of a team that's on a really big upswing, just performing really well.
I want to say they've done a very similar arc to like Aerial Arise, where Aerial Arise are in the same region we actually just finished watching, where they're going to go up against Flashpoint, and Flashpoint's always going to look very dominant. Except I think Bustdown have been able to pass the marker, where feasibly you could see them going 5 games with Cyclone. You could see them even winning a set against Cyclone, and I think that's probably the biggest step. It's not outlandish to think about that anymore, and that's usually when you know the second place team is a genuine threat. Once it becomes oh wait, you could win this set. Like, it might not be the way you want it to be, it might take way longer to get there than you think, but you could win it, and that is such a huge mark for Bustdown.
That'll be their next matchup, I believe, because they had Radiant last week. They have Viral, obviously, in this game. So I believe that means that we'll get to see the result of Bustdown Cyclone next week. I could be wrong, but I think that's the general flow of things in this case. Arivon and Yui are going to combine for a couple. The Barrage, just to ice this cake a little bit. Bustdown win 8 straight points, 2 straight maps, and are on set point here in set number 2. And it's hard. It gets to a point where one team, they're just playing really, really well, and that's going to be hard to beat.
And Bustdown is not only doing that, but I mean, I feel like they've come together in a way that I didn't feel in the first few weeks of play, so it's been very impressive these last couple weeks watching the improvements they've made on that.
No, I absolutely agree. They're 1 map away from taking our second set of the day. Send it back to Nick and Kresnik to hear their thoughts.
Thank you so much, Dave. A little bit more of the same there on Frog Isle. A couple of switches in the draft phase for Viral, but it didn't seem to make too much of an impact.
Yeah, I actually am curious what the emote to frag ratio was for that game. Is that a stat that we track at all? Or?
It's something you kind of just keep in mind. Like, you know, you got your like side baits and the guys that spray a lot and things like that. So definitely worth keeping track of. Dethrona is probably one of the leading emote to frag ratios. Kind of out there right now. He's definitely Bird's definitely up there. He's had a lot of time to just think by himself on the support position for NIP. Whitey though, looking good, 8-0 on the Ashe. Always good to highlight a frontline player when you can, and you were really excited about this Ashe going into Prague.
Yeah, I mean, her danger control and her ability to just dive any angle is so strong. I mean, her ability to just dash in, burst you for 1,200 damage, shielding herself to shoot you around corners. You can't really hide around the pillars, the tree, the frog statue. You can just see
that's
the
a dream.
bullying. Yeah, plus with the Genos, stacking with her lifesteal, she gets even more sustain on top of that. She benefits from Genos more than a lot of
people give her credit for sure. And she's one of the highest HP based frontliners. Just that was where she was recently hit, was that HP. It's like, you know, she's already got a lot going for her. But combined with that sustain and the ability to always be firing, it feels like. That's one of the big keys to Ashe, is like you always can shoot something.
Yeah, her reload isn't that long. It feels long when someone's one hit and you run out of bullets. That's when it feels like it takes an eternity. But in, you know, just standard bullying, she can reload around corners. You're constantly getting poked. You're trying to get uncaughted. She just has a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and you were saying that this big wall, the temporal divide, is really good on Frog Isle. But you're saying a good Dome Shield drop and kind of counter that out. What's that interaction like that you liked about that?
I mean, Dome Shield, yeah, they'd shielded. They obviously wanted to do something off of it, whether the tanks were bullying in just to maybe get a pick on the point. But the Dome Shield coming from the barrack, it slowed them down enough so the rest of the team could kite back, wait for the push. They couldn't push with the shield anymore. Allowed an easy refight, I think, after the shield was down.
Well, Jaguar Falls, that's a bit of a different flavor map than Frog Isle. We're going to see a lot of line of sight breaks. Frog Isle, while a small and kind of snowbally map, it is rather long lines of sights. That's why it's one of the smallest maps that you do see snipers run very, very often on. Jaguar Falls, super different flavor. Torvald's already gone, so we won't see that interaction, but I think Bustdown should go back to the Bomb King here. And they get their Victor stolen away, so Aryavan will have to try to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, on Bomb King, you meant on PC, excuse me, is really high priority on this map because it's so claustrophobic. There's so many corners you're going to be hiding around. And unlike Frog, where you're going to be at the edge of the flat cannon distance with Ash most of the time, she won't be able to shoot around corners as effectively as like a Bomb King auto-detting will be.
Because the lines of sights are too short and her slugs are just going to run into the wall there. It's a tough interaction to play around, and that's why there is those sweet spots for Ash. And that's really, you might not think the autos are super hard to hit, and you'd be right, but the tough part about Ash is knowing where that sweet spot in the distance is and how to be positioned around. If Iroh are going to go to their tried and true,
that's fast.
Scoop themselves the sky. Makoa is open and will stay that way. I love Makoa Genos too. I think Makoa has one of my favorite frontline weapons. I think it's super, super strong.
It feels great.
I'd love to see them go for it, even into the sky. I think they're big enough to do it.
I think absolutely they can. I mean, you could play half shell as long as there's not like a con on the other team. You can play half shell. If there's a con on the other team, then you play half shell. You're just saying, please ult me during my ult. Just negate all the value as quickly as you can. Money.
It will be an Imani. I'm looking forward to this one. Sky could be shredding that dragon out of the sky pretty quickly, though. That would be a lot of fun to watch.
Maybe.
Iroh are going to get the Makoa in that case.
Maybe the Sky pick was to deny the Makoa, but people on console don't pick Makoa that.
You know, I've seen enough of it, man, to where I'm like, it's one of those things on paper. It's like back in the day, it was when Drogos and Andro were picked all the time, and Fusillade was the talent. It's like on paper, yes, Andro should, but he also gets two-tapped sometimes by a Drogos. It's just the way it goes. And that's one of the cool things about Paladins to me is that, yes, you have your on-paper stuff, but it's in practice, right? Can you still, find that good opportunity? Can you even find, and it's so rare to get like that vacuum 1v1 where all of those paper matchups start to actually mean something.
Yeah, it comes down to the rest of your team a
Yeah,
lot.
it's a lot of stuff like that, guys. So the Andro and the Imani on one squad. You've seen a little bit of console Andro today. How do you feel about the pick?
I think I don't like it as much on this map versus some of the other flankers. I mean, the verticality is really good on maps like Stone, on Serpent, but on Jag, he has to really play around just his distance and his reset. If he goes and doesn't get a reset, he's pretty much done.
Yeah, we saw that was a big problem the last time we saw Andro on Jag in our first set of the day. Let's go ahead and get into it, though. I mean, that's definitely two solid drafts. I can't wait to see how they play the Imani. But we're looking good for Bustdown to maybe take the 3-0 here. We're going to send it on down to the casters and get what could be the last game of this set underway.
Well, it's a clean 8-point wins here for Bustdown. So I think for Viral to win this one would definitely shake things up a bit. Bustdown definitely in the driver's seat as far as that goes. And they've kind of shown, well, Viral can have a really strong lineup against us.
Yeah.
We're going to be confident in what we have as well. The Andro, though, Gore, that's what they talked about on the desk. I want to hear what you're thinking of, not even just this game, but just today in general. It's kind of seen some ups and downs.
Yeah, I'm going to channel my inner Nick and just ask where Zen is in the champion pool, right? Like, why he's not picked up as often. Again, someone that feels way easier to execute than an Androxus, but still brings a lot to the table and actually might bring more than you see out of Androxus. I expect Aryavan is still going to do really well, and based on that Illuminate, that entire Androxus job is just, I'm going to hunt down Sky. Like, that's all I'm doing today.
Evan would be proud.
Looking for her. And that is, I mean, it's a good role to have, but I just feel like there's other champions who would have a maybe even just stronger matchup against her to be able to guarantee that fight.
I think Bustdown have shown, though, that they can, well, sort of make whatever work. They're really in the driver's seat on this one, and I think that's to say the least in this case. Tully just kind of hanging out, trying to plug away some damage. Unfortunately, Aryavan on the opposite side, he's going to be the one to open things up. That's a pinch right on the back side of the other team. They weren't expecting it. Wild card on the Imani, gets a couple. Make it 3 now. with Umeta dropping off the map, and Bustdown, they give up some early point percentage. They get the fight, and they get the kills.
This is the most fire stance I've seen in Amani for a long time. And this is going to be part of it. I mean, it's one of those things. The reason ice stance is so probably universal so far in the Premier League and why we've seen that the most for Amani is you're going to get damage onto 2 targets 9 times out of 10. Frost Bomb is incredible. But Magma Cannon's or Inferno Cannon, sorry, is just as impressive, if not even more impressive in terms of the damage output it has. It's not going to have the same CC capabilities, and it really does come down to what do the autos feel like? What does it feel like when you're going for these basic shots? Because in Frost Dance, getting a lot of them off in a short amount of time, even if it's not the high burst damage that you're used to, in time you're going to feel every single shot, and it's going to hurt them. Frost Stance is just very slow, methodical, or Fire Stance is very slow, methodical firing, very similar to Shaolin arrows, and it doesn't feel as good to fire them off.
In this case, Wildcard has shown some willingness to flip back and forth. Back to Ice Stance, though. That is a beautiful skin on the Imani.
My favorite is the surfboard. There it is.
Just really neat. I don't know. You just kind of have to look at it and just say, that's pretty neat. You can tell it is because of the way it is.
Neat.
This is an aspen tree. You can tell that because of the way it is. Wildcard. That's a true internet classic. Have you seen that video?
I feel like I have.
I'll run you through a refresher. After the day closes here today. But Wildcard and the rest of Bustdown. That's right. You need a nice refresher course on the memes. That's going to be a good hook. No follow-up damage, though. Ranked finds a kill now on the Victor. Or as the Victor, I guess I should say. And it would actually kind of force out Bustdown right now. Slaya, with a little bit of tunnel vision, moves out of his comfort zone a little bit. Some ultimates ready for both teams here. And you have to hand it to Viral. They actually look okay on the defense. As I say it, though, kills start bouncing back and forth either way.
And this is one of those moments, and specifically, I think it's easier to break this down. Bustdown, there's a reason they've won now 9 points in a row, right? They are, at this point, kind of showing themselves to be a stronger team overall than Viral. But the thing that Viral has going for them here is they have their teamwork already. Yeah. But they also just have a stellar draft. This is one that is going to be phenomenal on this map. Phenomenal against most teams, even the top teams. And that's why it's being able to find so much success against them. Unfortunately, you end up in moments like this. Leia bites off maybe a little more than he can chew. Does escape this time, but there's so many moments where that's happened and they haven't walked away from it.
Just the Ancient Rage. He's going to be able to walk away from that one with a kill, at least at the moment. About half health. Good job of healing there from the Saris, keeping Makoa, keeping Slaya nice and topped off. Dome Shield as well is going to start coming out through. Time and Space is going to connect from Dreams with some damage, but no kills just yet. And it looks like Viral on the back of Tully are going to be poised to find themselves point number 1 here in our set. And the Sky really coming alive here on the defensive end. And Viral, I think, needed that. Ranked as well, 4-1. I think they really needed that defense. I think if this goes 2-0 again, Bustdown, honestly, I think they just see it through 12 points straight. So hats off to them, able to find the defense here.
And there were a lot of moments, I actually think, even just remembering the highlights we had, Tully had highlights on this map. This is a map that Viral know very well, although I believe the highlights I remember seeing were on Khan, now on Sky. Still hit scan, still a lot of pressure, but not too surprising to see them be, I want to say semi-successful, being able to find that. But now the Illuminates are coming out. You've got 2 tier 2s, 1 tier 3 for Aryavan. So Sky is going to have a lot more trouble being able to find these areas. And now you also have a Dragon to worry about.
See how the Dragon does. I know we were going to be interested to see that up to this point. Ranked,
just hanging
able to just poke a little bit of damage, but that's not very much. Just freely farming away right there. Wildcard finds 1 in the Dragon, and I think they'll probably call that worth because they get some zoning out of it as well. Dreams finds herself a kill in the fight as well. Ranked, kind of the guy that Viral are leaning on right now. He has probably 6 kills in this game so far. Slaya as well, getting onto the point. Yeah, so 6-1 now, 10 streak for Ranked, undying since that initial death. So maybe starting to come alive on the offensive end now, our Viral. Bustdown, they won that first point pretty convincingly, but Viral looks like they've kind of figured it out.
I mean, being able to come around, potentially find the melting right here. That's just the one thing Sky brings that you can't really get from many other champions. It's just she fires so fast and it melts you so quickly that you don't even have time to react sometimes, especially if you're one of the squishier targets. Like Amani here is most of the time going to be in that uncomfortable area. That was a good hook, but even better control. Viral, they win their first point.
Would you have guessed it, Viral are in the lead for the first time here today. They find themselves their first point and find themselves their first lead. Aryavon's gonna punch Tully back to base in this case. Wildcard and Yui combining though for the first 2 kills. And this is where Bustdown will feel open and free to really put the press on, keep Viral back in the base. Payload slowly but surely rolling back to its starting point here. And this, honestly, this offensive push to me all comes down to how long Bustdown are able to hold
in your
this much pressure. I mean, if it takes a couple kill cycles to get pushed out, and look, they utilize their ultimates as well. The Immortal buys themselves some time. If they start using their ultimates, if this continues on too much longer, I think Viral are just going to have to give up the offensive push, and Bustdown are going to be able to tie things up.
And for those of you who are watching, Bustdown is the red team. Viral, the blue team, is the team that captured the payload. Bustdown is standing outside of Viral's base and keeping them locked in. No one is pushing the payload because it is meant to be going to the other side of the map. There's going to be a shot from Dreams. A couple of kills coming out from Viral, though. At least gives them some room to maybe get back and try their best to at least end this with the payload not where it starts.
I mean, my internal timer was running a little bit short there. I think Viral just gave themselves a chance as far as like in the realm of possibility that this could get pushed through. If that defense and that offense, I don't even know what to call it. If that push held out for Bustdown just a little bit longer, I think Viral would have been done for. But the payload moving forward now for the first time in this offensive push. Now it really comes down to, oh God, just gets melted. Aryavon, those poison bolts just do so much damage, especially when you combine it with the Victor damage as well. Starting around the corner here. 20 seconds left here, Gore. Can they do it is the question.
Well, they're coming up on probably one of the harder parts, but as long as they can keep this zone very similar to earlier, it's going to look great. But they lose Tully early on, who's probably buying the most pressure for them. Aryavon gets another kill. Frostbomb gonna come through, and again, this is just kind of solidifying a defense more than anything. Overtime won't last long.
They're not gonna invest too much here into this defense. They know they find a couple picks early on, and that's all they needed. Ends up being a full 5-team wipe. Tully does have, I mean, a 5-11 slash line I don't think does the Sky too much justice right now. I think Tully is actually playing okay, just has, 3-4 Illuminates to fight through, and it's going to make life hard for any Sky. Slaya's had a pretty good game as well, and this is the best Viral have looked all day. I mean, not to be mean about it, but you can't go any worse than 0-4. So showing some sort of life in this case, being tied up 2-2, you got to commend them for fighting back and finding a little bit of a groove here in this case for themselves. Still 3 Illuminates. 2 on level 3, 1 on level 2. It's going to, again, make life a little bit more tough there for the Sky. Looking at ultimates as well. Dragon is around, as well as the Accursed Arm and the Overpower. 4 up on the opposite side for Viral. And Viral looked so much better in that last point fight. He'll probably feel somewhat confident coming into this one.
If this Dragon could see invisible targets, that might have been a little easier. And that's actually going to be, that kill comes down from the, I believe, Tully just flanking around. Coming down, kills off the Dragon, has the time bomb in a good spot, and Amani ends up dying through all of that while possessing the Dragon. So a good flank, showcasing the kind of the, I want to say, the strongest weakness of that ult. She's left alone. You can't guard Amani and use your Dragon appropriately.
We've seen a couple times where through time and space, like nearly snipes the Amani while she's in her Dragon. Hasn't played out just as of yet. Viral, though, they're 99%. I almost didn't realize it. Here comes the fight on the back end of it. Whitey finds the first one. Slaya's trying to keep himself alive, but where is the damage? The damage is going to come out from Aryavon and the rest of the team almost all at once. Ranked is able to answer back. Here comes the Accursed Arm. Is the damage there to follow? It is. Ranked gets his cooldown reset. His life cooldown, I should say, and Bustdown They're on the point with 60%.
And I like that call. It is a very awkward area to try and go up into the air and pop that ult. Just pop it behind the rock, peek out, get the kill you want, fire the last 2 shots off so you can just get to charging as fast as possible. Like, it's a little awkward of an engagement overall, but Aryavan plays that as appropriately as you can in that scenario to just get out alive and keep yourself going.
Well, overtime here for both teams. In reality, it's going to come down to who wins the fight. At the moment, Bustdown have the upper hand with 2 kills here, but so many low targets now for Viral. Looks like they're going to be able to clean this one up, but look out, Ranked still in the back line, just firing away on the Victor. The zone is going to be enough. Bustdown are pushing for potentially our second set of the day. 2-0 here. They just need this one more point. Viral need to stop if they want to have a chance at continuing here.
I mean, all they have to do here is do what they did last round for the defense,
but on
offense, and just try to keep the payload going. And honestly, it sounds like that's a silly way to look at it, but at the same time, it's easier to do that for a defense. All 5 of you don't have to worry about the payload. You don't have to worry about your positioning. You're just, I'm going to get in your face and I'm going to fight you, and if I die, oh well, I'm going to respawn with plenty of time to find a defense here, assuming my team can keep up their job. Here, it becomes a little more awkward. It's like, okay, well, the support, like, we have to decide who's going to stand on the objective. We don't want the support there all the time because they need to move forward to heal us a little bit to make sure we can get this Luminary boost. But we don't want to send our front lines back there. We can't have a like, you have to trade this off. It becomes a little bit more of a nuance and little dance around the payload that you have to play proper. Otherwise, Bustdown won't find their push.
Doing it just, through time and space. Dreams, hello, there's a double with the through time and space. Gets the snipe going here. They're able to get some damage on the back end as well. This is starting to move forward now for Bustdown. Dreams potentially buys her team just enough space to break the hold here from Viral. Viral has some ultimates ready. Bustdown have none. Viral will really need to use them here. They'll have to use them kind of liberally, maybe when they wouldn't otherwise, to try to keep this from going through. Sleia's going to be the first to fall here. The shields are around. Aryavan, though, starting to come alive on the Andraxis as well. Or this one could push through.
I mean, this is probably exactly what you want if you are Bustdown in this scenario. You have a support that's able to get a double kill to kind of keep things rolling for you. Open up the door, and there's a dragon just melting fire around the payload.
And it looks like it is going to go through. It is wild card on the Imani, sees to it. The final double kill. And Bustdown find themselves our second set win of the day, a 3-0. Hats off to Viral, though. They looked a little better.
Imagine you come out the door, and the first thing you see is just like, you don't even see the dragon. You just see fire going down on the payload, and you're like, you know what? Not today, guys. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just go back in here. It's
what we say.
Nice and safe.
What do we say to the dragon? Not today.
Not today.
Not today.
What do we say? Get me the hell out of here.
Get the hell out of here, Bustdown. Well, they say we'll take the 3-0 win, and they do just that. Send it back to the desk to break down this set.
Kind of reminds me of that Homer Simpson skit where he walks into the bar, puts his hat on the coat, and then just immediately turns around, puts it back on, and just leaves.
I thought you were going to talk about the one where he sinks into the bush. That's when he sees the dragon just
that's another good one. A lot of good Simpsons content. Definitely can you can make an analogy out of for that situation there. Slowed down a little bit though. Bustdown not as quick as they've been in the past. Do you think it's just they're going for some more stylish picks here with the Flame Stance Imani and the Andro?
I mean, the Andy definitely, I don't know if it was the best pick for them. I mean, it seemed to be doing work later. I actually didn't even notice it was on Defiant Fist also. With the punch cooldown.
He was throwing hands.
He was throwing hands. He got plenty of kills with it also.
Yeah, definitely.
That Sky did pretty good for them in the start, but late game scaling, Illuminate, and everything just fell off. And the power of Imani, you can see it in the set too.
And this skin is actually so sick. The way the Frost Bomb blows up and all those little those little linear lines come out. The dragon looks super cool. Very awesome to see. Once you get to a point where the new champions are getting dope skins in the first little bit. And, running the move speed on Inferno Cannon, a lot of flame stance, a little bit of ice stance, but that's got to be this has to be one of the first majority flame stance games I feel like I've seen.
Yeah, he was using it for the longer range poke sometimes. At these close range situations though, he was definitely falling back to that splitting ice, counter death ball pressure, and stance definitely did not matter here. A immortal dragon above the payload. Yeah, the face you just gave me that wasn't on camera pretty much says everything I possibly can.
So Bustdown going to creep their way a little bit closer to the Cyclone map count right now, about 10 back. 2 losses, I believe 2 Cyclone. Radiant and Viral definitely struggling a little bit. At this point, we're in week 9. This is a 13-week phase. We're getting to the point where things are pretty much locked in. And you guys are far from this situation, but if you've ever been on a team before, like for instance, if you were still on Bork, When you hit that point where it's no longer mathematically possible for you to qualify, what happens to like the team morale, and what do you guys look to shift in terms of your goals for the rest of the phase?
I think that changes from team to team, right? Some teams are like, we need to prove ourselves. We don't want to get relegated. They keep pushing. That's like, and that's what a lot of teams would do. Some teams, like this is a kind of a throwback, but the last PGS phase, Heisa Florex, that team became.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, that team became a revolving door as soon as they were out of qualification. I don't know how many players were on that team.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how many people have that in their Twitter bio. Heisa Florex. A lot.
That can happen, guys. That's going to do it for this set, though. Up next, we do have Heating Up versus Big Money Esports. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some more Paladins action. Brought to you by Skillshot, Hi-Res Studios, Evil Mojo, INAP, SteelSeries, Respawn.